Hello, everybody, and welcome to Offhand Ideas. And I am very excited for this episode because today we are going to be talking about the MCU. So, before we get into this, I really don't want to make this long. We all know the MCU has had its problems in its most recent years. Of course, we have the entirety of last year except for Guardians 3. Guardians 3 was actually really good. Putting us in a pretty bad hiatus on what Marvel was going to become, and we were all expecting 2024 to be loaded with a bunch of movies. We were going to have Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, Captain America, and then they all got delayed. But except for one, that being the threequel to one of my favorite Marvel franchises, Deadpool. It is up there with Ant-Man and Spider-Man, and Guardians, for that matter. That's my final favorite MCU movie was going to get its complete trilogy. And I was really happy for this to be happening because I have always wanted a Deadpool 3 ever since I even got teased that Wolverine was going to be in the next Deadpool movie, and after last year, a lot of people were so scared that this movie was going to flop hard. But I was somewhat optimistic. I was scared that they were going to pull the multiverse card and maybe use that to ruin the franchise, but I'm like, it's Deadpool. It'll be good. It'll be okay. But then, at the end of the movie, I was walking out of that theater, like, so happy. It was so good. I love that film so much. And I'm going to tell you why. But before we get into it, make sure to like and subscribe. Despicable Me 4, I do not know how that video got so many views. That's crazy. But let's get into it. Starting off, this plot is really wild, and I love how they took it in that direction. And we start off by Wade Wilson, who, after the events of Deadpool 2, he wants to matter, and by doing that, he wants to join the Avengers. But Happy Hogan turns him down. That was the part of me that's like, oh my god, is this movie gonna get worse by worse? But it didn't. But let's just talk about the opening scene of Deadpool beating up all the TVA agents to the theme of Bye 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 from NSYNC. And that this scene is literally on the internet, has been an internet sensation. It's been played so many times. But this movie is just so good all around, and we're gonna get to my favorite parts in a moment, because after he learns he's not gonna be an Avenger, he just hangs up the Deadpool mask and Deadpool suit because he's like, hey, after Vanessa died in Deadpool 2, I'm not going to go through with this anymore. And he just hangs it up and becomes a salesman at a car dealership. And he just says, I might not be Deadpool for a very long time. And on his birthday, we learn that Vanessa and Wade have broken up after he saved her life in Deadpool 2. That was just crazy in my opinion. But a lot of people may disagree with me on that. But then we get to the real juicy stuff where the TVA agents take Deadpool into the TVA headquarters, and Mr. Paradox, that's what he likes to call himself, just says, hey yo, we're putting you in the MCU. And he's like, okay. And of course there's a price to this, and the price is that his entire home universe is going to be offed. It's gonna die. They're gonna erase it. And he's like, no, I don't want that to happen. He's like, yeah, no, you can't do that. And he says, well, what's the problem? Why is my universe gonna be erased? And he said, well, it's because Wolverine died. That's why. And if you haven't seen Logan, yeah, that's a spoiler for you. After the events of Logan, like, I think Fox was like, okay, yeah, end this universe. And then he finds Wolverine, Deadpool does, because he thinks the answer is just to find a Wolverine and give it to Mr. Paradox to save his universe. I know it doesn't really make sense now, me saying it, but he gives him Wolverine. He's like, oh my god, this is not the right Wolverine. It's the worst Wolverine. Because Deadpool goes into a portal spree trying to get all these Wolverines. And all the Wolverines, like, trying to kill him every time. It's really weird. And then they get sent to the Void. Because Mr. Paradox is like, yeah, we're sending you to the Void now. He gets sent to the Void. And all of the 20th Century Fox Marvel characters are in there. We have Johnny Storm. We have Toad. We have Doctor Doom. We just have so many of the characters in there, and it's so funny. And then Marvel's two new stars, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, get taken and captured to Cassandra Novak, who is Charles Xavier's twin sister, who was sent there because the TVA just sent her there. And they are about to get fed to the giant dust monster from Loki. And then they just get out of there they somehow just get out of there. And then they go to the valleys. And that's kind of where the movie keeps going. And they find the Resistance. And this is the best part in the whole movie. It had my entire theater clapping. We get Elektra. We get Blade. We get my personal favorite, Channing Tatum's Gambit. Yes, X-Men fans, we've won. We finally get to see him again after Disney canceled his Gambit movie. I'm still mad at Disney for that. And then they say, we're going to help you. Oh, and I forgot. X-23 comes back too as a full-grown adult. Yes! And they're like, okay, we're going to help you to get back to your home and defeat Cassandra Novak. And they had their ending. And they beat up all Cassandra Nova's goons. And then Deadpool and Wolverine finally get to Cassandra Novak and say, hey, yo, you're gonna die. But then Wolverine comes to the realization that the answer to everything isn't always death. And then he doesn't kill her, and as a token of gratitude for them sparing her, she spares them and gets them back to their universe. But then Cassandra Novak, that's not the end of her. That's not the end. She goes down into the subway tunnel, which Mr. Paradox in that universe is building a giant timeline ripper that will rip apart any timeline he pleases. And yeah, she wants to use that to tear apart every universe in the freaking universe. So, in the freaking multiverse. Sorry, that was kind of that's kind of weird. And then we finally see the full yellow suit Wolverine, and then Cassandra Novak summons an army of Deadpools to destroy Deadpool and Wolverine, and then we get Madonna's Like a Prayer while Deadpool and Wolverine are slaughtering all the Deadpools, but then as they regenerate and are about to finish off Deadpool and Wolverine, we get the man, the myth, the legend, Peter! And all the Deadpools praise Peter like he is their savior. And that distracts Deadpool and Wolverine to go down into Cassandra Novak's lair in the subway tunnel. And Deadpool and Wolverine do the ultimate sacrifice. And then they tear the machine apart. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that film in over a few weeks. And they win. Mr. Paradox is sent to some unknown location. Cassandra Novak is dead. And that just ends the film. And Deadpool's in the MCU now. I know I did not explain this film as good as I usually do. I'm under a lot of stress right now, so don't cheese me. But I'm giving this film a good 9.5 out of 10. All the music and comedy are amazing. And this is one of the best Deadpool movies. I highly recommend it. This was better than Despicable Me 4 and Kung Fu Panda 4. Yeah, come at me. And that is it, everybody. And I promise I will give you guys more content in the future. I'm working on it. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye! I'm so happy we got him back. I love you, Channing Tatum's Gambit. You're just so awesome.